Hi everyone, my name's Tim. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about a bunch of Spider-Man comics that I read, and what makes them different is they were part of the Disney 100 variant editions, so they've all got special covers. There's 12 comics here. My wife got these for me for my birthday. They come throughout the year, one every month, and what's interesting is that they cover a whole range of different stories and plot beats and arcs. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each one very briefly, talk about what it's about, and say very quickly my thoughts on each one, and then do overall thoughts. One of my challenges this year was to read longer books and to increase my reading length, the average length of book. This has ruined that because each of these are 30 pages long. So I've read 11, because I read one of these last year. I read 11 books this year with an average page of 30, so average length of 30 pages. So anyway, first up is Spider-Man number 17. This is Avengers 100. What if Mickey and his friends were Earth's mightiest heroes? Based off Avengers number 1, I think, and Donald being Thor is the peak. So this is in the Dark Web saga, which is full where demons have invaded Manhattan, and I think Ben Reilly, aka the Scarlet Spider, he's got a different name here, but the demons have taken over and everything's all freaking weird. Like there's loads of weird creatures, and in the end they make the Insidious 6, which is full of puns. My favourite is Kraken the Hunter, who's like a big squid man. This one I quite liked. I liked the idea of, I thought these demon designs were really interesting. I liked how they were just very strange, but this world of magic isn't very Spider-Man. But anyway, I enjoyed it. And then I was like, oh, what's going to happen next? So then we jumped from 17 to 19, and here one is, what if Mickey and friends were exposed to cosmic rays? You see that is Fantastic Four number 1. You see the characters there. And this one is it's nothing to do with Dark Web anymore. It's a one-off story of Peter Parker and Black Cat going to a snow retreat, and then they find Mary Jane Watson, who is with another guy, and it's like, oh, she's with this guy and they now have kids and it's complicated. And then there's someone there, it's like full of villains who are like renting villain equipment. It's very throwaway. Coming off the demon thing, I was like, oh, what's going to happen next? And then we're on to Amazing Spider-Man 21, which is, what if Goofy was exposed to gamma rays? You see that's Incredible Hulk number 1 with Goofy. And this one is where we get, like, it's probably the longest story we have for a while, which is Mary Jane and Peter being chased by this guy with weird tattoos on him. And he's from a previous story. He like tries to bring back a Mayan god or something like that, and Spider-Man's fighting him, and in the end Mary Jane does something and they both end up transported to a parallel universe. It's like, whoa, what's going to happen? And in the middle of this, there's actually a 1-year flashback to when all this stuff happens. So this is looking to explain why Mary Jane is with another man and they have kids, seemingly out of the blue. Next we have Spider-Man number 23. What if Mickey and friends had to save the universe? You have the Infinity Gauntlet there. I really like that one. That's a really cool cover. And you know they're just transported to a new universe in this one? Immediately, Spider-Man is back because Mary Jane has done something and she's rescued him. That happened in the issue between. I didn't get to see the parallel world. What we got was Spider-Man desperate to get back because time works differently between the two universes, and so he knows if he doesn't get back immediately, time is going to last a lot longer there. So this is him arguing, fighting every single superhero. Fantastic Four, Captain America, just to get his stuff back. You see him fighting Captain America there, like just to get to Mary Jane, just to get her back, doing whatever it takes. Which is, it's rough to see Spider-Man laid so low and taking some morally grey decisions, but he's driven and he needs to do what he needs to do. And then in the end, I think, yeah, he goes to Norman Osborn for help. So then, this is a bit of a bumper one. We've got Spider-Man 25. What if Mickey and his friends became the newest Avengers? We cut to the new Avengers from like the 2000s, I think it was. Yeah, so this is actually 2 issues. This is Spider-Man 25 and 26, I believe. Yeah, it's a double one. Or maybe this has got... Oh no, this isn't 26, it's a special short story celebrating the 25 issues of Spider-Man. Right, so here we are in the alternate universe. This is what I wanted from before, from Mary Jane's perspective. And she has to live in this world, and look, she becomes like a badass. She's in this parallel world. There is a man there. There are 2 kids there. The 2 kids really look like them. I never see what the end result of this storyline is, but man, do the 2 kids really, really look like them, that they just find and adopt. In the end, they produce, and it kind of cuts to time 1 month later, 3 months later, 6 months later, 2 years later, and you see how long they've been there, and you see the kids growing up. They come up with some cool tech. That's a cool picture. Mary Jane trying out the tech, which is like locked into this universe of symbols and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, you see that when Peter Parker gets back to her by stealing this technology, that they can fight, and they just kill the guy. They just stab him. There we go. They just stab the guy, and then he's over, and they need to work out a way to get back to their world. And they do that, and Peter has to deal with the ramifications of that. This I really liked. This gave me vibes of, I read a comic called Adventures of Captain America in Generation Z, not Generation Z, Dimension Z, and this gave me vibes of that because it was an alternate world, dystopian, hardcore, like comeback grizzled. The side story is just Peter Pan why do I keep calling him Peter Pan? Peter Parker at a wedding, and Spider-Man's at the wedding, and that's it. Like, it's a bit silly and not really necessary. Next we cut to Spider-Man number 27. What if Mickey was the invincible Iron Man? It's a cool cover. This one we cut to, so in between 25 and 27, Miss Marvel died. Don't know why, don't know how, but in this you've got Queen Goblin, who's a new character, is being fought by the Golden Goblin. So I think there's something like Norman Osborn had all his evilness taken out of him and put into this woman who became the Queen Goblin, and it's, in the meantime, you've got Dr. Octopus is kind of upgrading his arms, and he goes and kidnaps Green Goblin. Like, nothing much is really going on in here, much. Bit of a filler one. Next we cut to 29. What if Minnie Mouse was Captain Marvel? So in this one, the octopuses take over J. Jonah Jameson, and they eventually come to Spider-Man. You also get the appearance of Wreck-Rap, who is one of the demons from the very long time ago, and it says they're just putting him in for the sake of it, which is quite funny. But yeah, this is just all about Norman Osborn with the Goblin evilness, and Doc Ock is like, how did you do it? What's your plan? I know you're still evil. What's your plan? I'm the smartest man in the world, and I can't figure out your plan. And then the end result is Spidey has more legs. Again, fine. Then we get into this one, which is probably my favourite cover, which is what if Daisy was Ghost Spider in a different universe? Ghost Spider's my daughter's favourite superhero. And this one is, you have Peter Parker, and he's trying to go on a date because Black Cat's broken up with him. And then you have Kraven the Hunter doing stuff in getting ready to work with Queen Goblin, and he's got a big spear, and he wants to put the spear in Norman Osborn and give him all of the evilness of Green Goblin again. but then Spider-Man gets in the way, so Spider-Man takes the spear, and then we're going to have evil Spider-Man, which is cool. Like, I'm fine with that. That's issue number 32. Then we have issue 33. So it's the first time it's not an alternate one. What if Miss Marvel inspired a generation of heroes? There's Daisy Duck. This is my favourite one because this is Kraven's Last Hunt, but reversed. So Spidey is hunting Kraven, and this is brilliant because Spidey is evil in this. He's in the black suit. He's stalking him. He's hunting him. He buries him. Like, I've never read Kraven's Last Hunt, but I know about it. I know the front cover. I know I've seen images of it. Yeah, and he leaves him with the gun and all. Just, oh, this was the best one for me. Then we cut to 35, which is what if Mickey Mouse was bitten by a radioactive spider? Becomes Spider-Man. This is where we have more Queen Goblin stuff, and Peter Parker's still evil, and then but Kraven gets out of the grave, and then he saves. Norman Osborn puts the evilness back into the spear and saves Peter Parker. So Peter Parker is back to being normal. So he was evil from 32, and in 35 he's back to normal. Doesn't last long enough for me. And then you have him working with Norman Osborn a little bit. We're in the final stretch, we've got 2 left. What if Mickey and friends went to Battle World? This is Secret Wars. And then this is starting, you have Rec Rap back, and there's some demon stuff going on, and there's some mob stuff going on. Rec Rap I find is hilarious. I enjoy the demons because they're just like weird pastiches of humanity, and they don't really understand what's going on, and there's like a blind-faced man, but he's actually a giant demon and he eats people. But this is definitely like more of a filler one, but I didn't really mind because I found Rec Rap really interesting, and I love the old style of the comics. And then hey, I'm back. Sorry about that. My phone was running out of battery and space, and then also my daughter woke up. But that's the fun of being a parent. Yeah, so I've just done 37, Battle World. I had to review that very quickly. This one was actually one I enjoyed more because it was just so silly. One thing I really liked was Rec Rap used, like, the art style was really old school from his stories, as he was telling about how he was like a demon version of Spider-Man. Like, the colour is so different, and that's him matching Kraken the Hunter, and everything he says is like slightly off because he's a copy. What does he say? He calls him Parker Peter Man or something like that. Yeah, just squeezed to meet ya. Yeah, this one I really liked, actually, even though it was a bit of a filler episode. I liked the demons. I liked that they were so wacky, and I wanted to see more of that, and that kind of reminded me of the start of the book when I was quite excited. The last one is what if Mickey and friends gain super mutant powers? Number 39, Amazing Spider-Man number 39. And this is the start of a brand new big arc thing, which is Gang Wars. So it's about gangsters. First of all, look at that. Wow, that's quite cool. And it comes, I think early on, it has a map of all the different gangs in New York. And it's all about gangsters fighting, and they're all fighting each other, and Spidey's there in the middle of it with She-Hulk and Spider-Woman and Elektra from Daredevil, and Miles Morales as well. First time Miles Morales has appeared in these, I think. Yeah, really interesting and engaging, and I'm not going to read any more because it's the last one they made. And I think that sums this up, is that the one kind of arc I got the most of was Spidey and Mary Jane fighting the weird Mayan god man being sent to a parallel world, and even then we missed out half the story because this was every other edition, or it would be, you'd get events outside of the page like Miss Marvel dying in one of them, and then the last one was Gang War, the start of a brand new arc. So I don't understand, because I don't think these, like, we got this one in December, and I don't think it came out in December. I think it came out. The actual comic, I think the comic came out a little bit beforehand. Well, maybe not, because there's an advert there for January. But I would much rather, instead of producing maybe if it is just the brand new comics that's coming out this month, give it a Disney cover. I'd much rather they had one story, one batch of 12 issues that told a story that you could get, and then you'd have these wonderful copies, but you'd be able to actually read it. Because I read these all in one night, basically. I read the first one at the end of last year, but I read the rest of them all in one night. And I was really looking for those through threads of plot, and there weren't any. There were very, very few. It was nice to see Retgrap, the demon that thought he was Spider-Man, or Parker Peterman, as he called him. I quite enjoyed seeing him back, and I could see there was stuff here that was, you had demons coming into Manhattan, you had Mary Jane being in a parallel universe, you had Norman Osborn and the power, a staff carrying the evil sins of Norman Osborn, then you had the beginnings of a gang war across New York. The first three of those are things I would describe as not typical Spider-Man stories, or not typical as you would think the original Spider-Man story, where he's your friendly neighborhood local Spider-Man doing local heroes in New York. He's in a parallel universe, or demons have invaded Manhattan. There's magic, there's mysticism, which honestly goes into Spider-Man a lot, because Spider-Man is the most popular comic book character, and so he gets involved in everything, and so his comics generally are very mixed bag. So if you like mystical stuff, you can find it in there. Spider-Man's probably fought dinosaurs, he's done everything because he's Spider-Man. But the start of that gang war arc, I was like, yeah, this is Spider-Man trying to save New York. I like this. I like the other stuff too. It just didn't really feel like it had to be Spider-Man. As I said, I've read a Captain America comic where he goes into a different dimension, and it's very similar to the stuff with the Mayan God. I read a Doctor Strange comic which is full of demons and things like that. So I don't necessarily get why it has to be Spider-Man. So I did enjoy these, and the art is brilliant, and I'm really, really happy that I've got these special edition covers. I just wish that they had picked better issues that were concurrent rather than every other issue, apart from one time when they kind of skipped. So we went from odd numbers to even numbers for a bit, and then back to odd numbers again. Yeah, I wish it was all one thing. But anyway, that's my review of this Spider-Man run that I got. If you've read these comics, especially if you've got a bit more context that I'm missing because I haven't got all the ones in between, put in the comments and let me know. Give this video a thumbs up, do appreciate it. If you like my videos, subscribe. One thing I want for my channel is to try and upload on a bit more of a regular schedule. I'm not going to tell you what that schedule is, so I don't have to stick to it. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you for listening to my ramble, and get out my house!